Hello and welcome to the week ahead reading. So I'm going to do a reading for the week ahead with the astrology. I'm also going to do a card reading and I'm going to get straight into it. So we're going to talk about today, Monday. So today we have had quite a few different transits happening actually. I wonder if you've felt them. Let me know in the comments. First one that I want to talk about is we've had the sun squaring Mars. So Mars being the planet of because it's a square, it can be a challenging aspect, right? So when Mars is in its sort of challenged place, it can be quite argumentative, can be frustrated, this sort of feeling of like wanting to go forth, but maybe, yeah, feeling frustrated by limitations could be potentially a bit of the feeling that you might have had today. However, we have also had the Sun trining Jupiter, which brings optimism and hope and renewed sense of hope. I think I've personally felt more the Jupiter of it all, honestly. Thankfully, I really wasn't in the mood for frustration today. But yeah, definitely feeling like more of this kind of optimism. However, interestingly, and I'm just reflecting on this now, I have really noticed Jupiter in Gemini's energy a lot more recently. So, like, Jupiter in Gemini, I have found quite tricky because I think Jupiter doesn't really do very well in Gemini. Jupiter does well in Sagittarius, it's opposite. In Gemini, it can create a lot of mental stimulation. I'm curious if people are sort of feeling this a lot. I feel like there's been an awful lot of mental activity and my brain just like firing like a lot of thoughts and just being like, oh my god, just chill. So yeah, curious if that's reflected in the collective as well, like this real increase in that. I'm already a Gemini sun, so I'm sort of used to this, but it feels extra right now. So even though this is like a nice sort of aspect, sun trining Jupiter, with Jupiter being in Gemini, it does sort of feel a little bit like very mental, like as in, of the mind, right? Lots of mental activity. So that's kind of been today. So yeah, so curious, like you may have felt more of the Marsness of it all, more of the Jupiter, maybe a little bit of both. It could absolutely manifest both ways. And obviously, depending on where it falls in your chart, you might feel it more as well. So that's today. And then tomorrow, so we have Venus opposing Neptune. So Venus, again, the planet of relationships, of beauty, of art, making an opposition to not Neptune, Uranus, sorry, which is the kind of rebellious, the great disruptor. So you might find, I always think with Uranus energy, expect the unexpected is very much the vibe. And with it being an opposition to Venus, you may find that there are some unexpected changes in relation to your relationships, unexpected conversations in your relationships, looking out for that kind of thing. Like, yeah, Uranus energy, expect the unexpected is how I would summarize that. So you might be feeling, or you might feel a little bit like you want to break free in some way. Like Uranus is a very sort of like, wants to break out of the mold, wants to. I always think of Uranus as like, because it rules Aquarius, and Aquarius comes after Capricorn. So Capricorn is like the structure, the very like physical matter. And then Aquarius comes after, and it's like, I don't want structures. I want to break free of these sort of like traditions and do things my own way and be different. That's Aquarius, as is Uranus. So it's kind of like you might find you generally are feeling this like wanting to do things differently, but particularly in the realms of Venusian things. So that could be in relationships, but it could also be in your creativity. If you are someone who, does creative things. I mean, I believe we're all creative beings, but you might have a job that's very creative and you might be like, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to try something different. So it'd be a good day to sort of break out of the mold of what you've been doing, if that makes sense, in the realms of our sort of more Venusian, like realms, if you like. So that's Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, so I mentioned Neptune, that's actually happening on Wednesday, not Tuesday. Venus is trining Neptune. And I love this signature so much because Neptune is like the higher octave of Venus anyway. So so them coming together, they're very similar in energy. Neptune is very much about our kind of dreams, our fantasies, like going into the kind of like dream realms rather than and on the practical level. And where we feel inspired, where we draw inspiration from is very Neptunian. Again, Venusian energy is like creative, it's artistic. So it's just a really good day to allow ourselves to dream, to allow ourselves to go into a more, yeah, like very divine feminine energy I'm feeling with this. And you might find either that it's a good day to give yourself permission to do that and to dream big and to not kind of limit yourself with practicalities. Or you might just feel that you're generally more in this kind of dreamlike state and you're just daydreaming a lot. So that's something you could maybe expect to happen on Wednesday. So yeah, great day for just artistic stuff or even relational stuff, because again Venus is in the mix here. So spending time with loved ones and just like having a nice time, like that would be a very Venusian thing to do as well. And then on Thursday, so the tone shifts a little bit. We've got the full moon in Aries. So this feels like a very different energy to the day before. Full moons, again, are always about release, right? About letting something go, about shedding of some sort. And with it being in the realms of Aries, it could be quite fiery. It could be quite... I'll do a full video on this. I don't want to spend the whole video talking about full moon Aries because I'm going to do like a proper one. So watch out for that if you're interested. But it does feel like it might be a little bit more challenging this full moon. We had quite a challenging last full moon as well, with all the stuff going on in Pisces and the eclipses. It's been quite challenging, and it feels like, I hate to say it, but once again, it's like if the eclipse didn't come in to clear stuff out, then this one is going to come back again to try and clear more stuff out. Because Aries is like, I always think of Aries as being about boundaries, around like what we say no to, about having had enough. And that was very much the vibe of the last full moon as well, of like, enough is enough. I'm not doing this anymore. I don't want this anymore. And it can be, sometimes we have to get in touch with our frustration and anger to finally be like, no, right? So that's the beauty of it, is that getting in touch with that kind of fiery part of us can really create change. But yeah, and sometimes what it reminds me of as well is sometimes we have to be extremely uncomfortable until we create change, until we've had enough. So it could be a little sticky. It might be like the discomfort, what am I trying to say here? Let me get this right. It's more uncomfortable to stay the same than it is to make the change, because invariably for human beings it's very difficult to change, right? We don't necessarily want to. Our survival parts don't want to change. They want things to stay the same because we know it's safe. Even if it's hell, it's a familiar hell, right? But it feels like with this full moon it's going to be like making the same, like your situation that it currently is in, so uncomfortable that you're like, I actually can't bear this anymore. So that's the vibe. So it might not feel super comfortable, but if we see the gift of like, well, then on the other side of that is going to be like this change that we have desperately needed, and that we'll feel more liberated, that we'll feel lighter, that we'll feel freer, you know? So sometimes you just have to feel that discomfort. And I know I keep saying that because I just do think that's going to kind of really show up for some of us this week. So yeah, so that's Thursday. And then on the same day, Venus moves into Sagittarius. So Venus has been in Scorpio, which has been very much going into like the deep underworld, and Venus has been like going deep. And now Venus is going into Sagittarius, which is like the freedom loving sign. It's very much around like wanting to express love through like adventure, and having more adventure, having more like spontaneity. I really like Venus in Sagittarius as an energy. I just think it's like really fun. Venus is having like a fun time there. So we'll really feel that shift if you've been feeling the Venus in Scorpio, which is again can be a little bit uncomfortable for Venus to be in Scorpio, and then going into a bit of a lighter space. So that's kind of something to look forward to as well. Okay, so I'm going to get into the card reading now. So as always, I'm going to use Aleister Crowley's Thoth Tarot deck, and we'll look at the energies for the beginning of this week. Oh, there it is. Right, sorry. Oh, do you know what? I pulled this card today and I knew it was going to come out again. I am not surprised to see this. Okay. So funny, I shuffled these cards before I started as well. I pulled that card and it came out again. Okay, a few too many have come out there. Let's see if any of them come back out. Yes. Energies, please, for those watching. I love this. Oh, this is giving me really good vibes. I like it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. So we have 9 of Wands, Strength. And we also have, I feel like these need to come out together. We've got 4 of Discs, Power as well. There is a third, but I'm just going to talk about these two for a second. So it really feels like we are now coming into this place where we're really recognizing our strength and power. I love this. Ooh, yeah. And then we've got Prince of Wands here as well. So, not particularly easy, but what I'm really getting with this, it's like we are now at this point where we've been through some really tricky stuff. Eclipses, still feeling, I mean, honestly, like it was a while ago now, but I'm still feeling it. Still feeling the fallout of that. But now, as a consequence of that, we're really recognizing how strong we are. But this card can also speak of, like, you know, having been through quite a lot and being a little, like, tired by it. So for some of you, it feels like you're still feeling the tiredness of all of this energy that we've been through. But hopefully what you're seeing now is what you're really made of and what you're really capable of and how strong you actually are. Because what's so nice about this card is just like how, like, that wand at the front is just so, like, strong. It's so, like, what's the word? Just, like, powerful. Look at it. You know, it's like, it's not wavering. And then, yeah, again, reinforced by this very powerful card. But this does also feel like there is a need to put some boundaries in place. These both speak of boundaries, actually, in their own way. That's so interesting. They both speak of a need for boundaries. Like, I feel, and again, this is very Aries, and we've also got a Wands card here, which is like very Aries energy to me as well. Feels like we're really going to be feeling the effects of this full moon. So what I'm kind of getting as well is like a need to just maybe cool off at points, because I think with a full moon in Aries, you may see other people getting a little bit heated, a little bit tetchy, a little, you know, just give them the grace and compassion. You're like, I know what this is about. I get it. I see it. I love you. I'm not going to engage. Like, boundaries are going to be needed here because it does feel like it could be hot this week. Like I say, these are very hard-working cards as well, you know. This is a Capricorn card. Capricorn is such a hard worker. So yeah, so there is this feeling, hopefully, for some of you, that you're really seeing how capable you are. And that, yeah, now it's a time to put some boundaries in place. Protecting your own energy is what I'm getting from this. So that you can also just, like, spend time on what is actually important to you and take charge of things. Like, you're going to want to take charge this week, is what I'm really getting. It's a good time to take charge. Yeah, so again, not a super restful week. Although, again, with this being here, this can speak of feeling quite tired or, like, you know, been through some stuff. So if you do need to also just, again, put these boundaries in place so that you can take care of yourself, do that. Okay, challenges for this week, please. Sorry. There we go. Ooh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Five of cups, sorry, disappointment. Now, again, like, I always think this card is like a burnout energy. God, like, I feel like I'm just a broken record at this point. Yeah, so you might be feeling quite exhausted. Like, there is a lot of fire energy. So, again, there's two wands here, very fiery, and Capricorn, which is hardworking. Just be mindful of not over pushing yourself. And again, with this Sun square Mars that we've had today, that can feel like the Sun like wants to like express and go out, and Mars is also very like warrior energy, and with it being a square, it's like can feel like this frustration around limitation and like, oh, I want to just keep going. But when you try and like push things to happen that aren't happening, it's exhausting. So just mind out for that kind of stuff of like just not pushing where it's just going to be draining you and it's just like too much force. Yeah, just be mindful of not too much force this week. Yeah. Interesting. Sorry, just seeing it all together is really fascinating. Okay, best part of this week, please. Yeah, there it is. Oh, that's lovely. Love this. Four of Wands, completion. A sense of victory is what I'm getting with that. Like, the best part of this week is like it's completion, right? Look at the card. It's like it's very again like this sort of sense of like I like, and it with it being wands as well. It's like very it's again Aries card, Venus in Aries. I know we don't have Venus in Aries, but it is an Aries card. This sense of like feeling accomplished. So that's something to look forward to. Again, like it does feel like we're going to have a lot of drive this week to get stuff done and you're going to feel accomplished, but just mind out with this energy here of not putting your energy in things that are just like going to drain you. And I like if it's not happening, don't force it. It's like it's that kind of thing, because with all this like drive, you might just like, right, I'm going to do it all, and then it just doesn't work out because some things are not ready yet. It's kind of what I'm getting. Like, it's that sort of thing. Okay. Guidance to navigate this week ahead, please. So many wands here. Oof, yeah, it's hot. I feel this full moon is going to be a big one. Yeah. Gosh, yeah. Wands again, Seven of Wands. Now, with this being guidance, it feels like a kind of keep going energy. But again, like, just mindful of this. You could be feeling very tired. But this is a card of like keeping on going. Like, it's not about giving up. It does want you to do stuff. It wants you to complete things. It wants you to go forth. Or Aries wants to go. It wants you to have courage. Like the other thing about the full moon in Aries is about taking those baby steps towards like something that feels scary. You know, it's courage. Like there is something here that is. Let me just start that again. With it being a full moon in Aries wants you to take that first step. It's the beginning of the zodiac. It's like the initiator, the starter of things, the one that goes forth, doesn't always think too hard about things and just goes forth. But the downside of that is that you can get quite easily burned out. So it does want you to do things. It wants you to take courage. Just mind out. I know I'm repeating this a lot, but that's just because with there being so many wands and with this being here and with this being here, like just put those boundaries in place, take those necessary steps towards the uncomfortable thing, keep going, trust in your newfound, not trust in your newfound strength, but just like remember how strong you are now. Like you've been through so much. Don't be afraid of this full moon. It's like you've been through loads of full moons, right? This is like one of many. You'll be fine. There's nothing to be afraid of. As long as we just have those boundaries and like take care of ourselves and don't overdo it. But it isn't a passive week. I'll just say that. It is asking you to do stuff. So I will leave it at that. I think that's enough. Thank you so much for watching that. I hope you enjoyed that. And if you have enjoyed it, liking the video is a really, really helpful way to support the channel. Commenting, obviously letting me know what's going on for you. I would love to know. And subscribing if you're not already a subscriber. And I am just going to mention here as well that I am going to be putting out an offer very soon, which I haven't, not quite ready to do, but I'm really excited about it. So stay tuned and I will be sharing that all with you. So I'll see you all later. Have an amazing week. Mwah.